What's going on, guys? Chris and One Trips One Poker Videos. Hope everyone's doing fantastically. I'm super excited to bring you another exclusive show, this time the European Poker Masters from London. It took me a long time to remaster this one, so if you do enjoy it and you want to see more exclusive poker shows, please do remember to subscribe. Right, let's get right into it.
On a warm autumn afternoon, some of the best poker players in the world gathered at the exclusive club, 50 London, for the first ever event in the European Poker Masters.
Tournament players, the very best of luck to everybody, and have a good time.
The buy-in was £2,000 and initial play was spread over 8 tables, with only 8 players eligible for the televised final.
I've got a fish to my left, biggest fish.
How long have you been playing, sir?
How long?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks.
About an hour and a half.
Yeah.
From the outset, play was ferocious, and after a few early casualties, all the players settled into the rhythm of the game.
Yeah, but what about your hand when you called me with my free thought? Tell them that one, I'm in the big blind.
No, it doesn't matter, we'll talk about that one later.
There was a great atmosphere in the room, but as the day drew on, many famous names fell by the wayside.
Get something to eat and go play some internet poker, I guess.
I had a blast here. Too bad I couldn't make the final table, but I'll probably be back next year.
By 4 a.m, only 9 players remained, and play was restarted the next day. This only took 2 hands, and it was poor old Peter Gould who finished as the bubble boy and went home with nothing. So the final table of 8 sat down, and first to leave was Bumbus after he made a rash all-in, leaving him short-stacked and out the next hand. Then, one of the biggest names in the game, Phil Ivey, bowed out after being card dead for most of the game. Gus Hansen profited from his demise. Then followed 50 London member Nathan Lee, and shortly after, Willie Tan. So here we are at the final table with 4 players remaining. Melissa Hayden, photographer and girlfriend of Alan Cunningham. IT specialist Jeff Buffenbarger. 4 times WPT champion Gus Hansen. And English pro Mark Goodwin. Let's get back to the final table. Season 1 of the European Poker Masters begins at 50 London, the London All-Star Challenge, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker, with 4 players still in, competing for the title and the first place prize money. And this man's top of the leaderboard at the moment. Mark Goodwin has 229,000 in chips. Gus Hansen, seated to his left, has 177,000. Jeff Buffenbarger, 88,000 in chips, and Melissa Hayden is the short stack with 41,500. And Chris, we should mention what a phenomenal field it was in this tournament, and the fact that these guys had some really tough competition to get here.
It really was an amazing field. You had all the top European players here, and about 20 of the top U.S. players flew across the ocean. And by top, I mean really the cream of the crop of the U.S. came over here to contest this cup.
4 to play, is it?
Well, Jeff Buffenbarger's got pocket 3s. He's first to speak. And 4-handed.
Raise.
It's a raisable hand?
Oh, absolutely. Now, obviously, the thing is you're a small favorite against a lot of hands, but you're not a huge favorite against some very good hands, like Ace-King and Ace-Queen. You're actually a favorite over those hands. The only hands that are a favorite over you is a higher pair.
So Jeff takes that one uncontested.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Pass.
Jeff Buffenbarger folding in first position. Melissa Hayden is on the button, and she's got 3-4, and she's not going to play that.
Call. Any raise.
Goodwin flat calling. Can Gus Hansen resist the temptation to raise?
You know what, let's try and do this.
No raise. Dealing.
He checks, he wants to see a flop.
6, 5, and 10. Check or bet. Check.
Pair of 5s for Mark Goodwin. Not much for Gus, but that's not going to stop him throwing chips into the pot.
Better 4. It was 3? It was 4, thank you. Cool. Dealing.
It's a very small bet, Ian, to
So,
$10,000 pot, betting 4,000.
check.
More noises from Gus Hansen,
That's
who's
still the same.
still got a straight draw.
That's still the same. I need to see one more card.
Check. Dealing.
Hoping to make his straight on the river,
And deuce.
which he doesn't.
Check.
Mark Goodwin's pair of fives are good.
Now, is Gus going to bluff at this pot? He has a very, very weak hand here. He might take a stab at
Check.
the pot. He just checks it down.
Shouldn't
Good.
take these, shouldn't we?
Well played.
And Mark Goodwin will pick it up with a pair of fives.
Mark probably would have called if Gus decided to take a stab
Wants
at
me
it.
to pause it.
It's another good decision by Gus.
So this is how you play No Limit Texas Hold'em. Every player has to post an ante, which is a set amount. The two players to the left of the button, or nominated dealer, post the small blind and the large blind. These are forced bets to get the action started. Then all players are dealt 2 cards face down. And now we have the first round of betting, with the player after the big blind acting first. He or she can now fold, match the big blind, or raise it. Once all the players have acted, the first 3 of the shared or community cards are dealt face up, and this is called the flop. Then we have another round of betting, and then the next card is dealt. This is called the turn. There's then some more betting, and then the final community card, the river, followed by the last round of betting. Everyone still in the hand turns over their cards, and the best 5-card hand wins. We can't discount the other 2 players at this table, Jeff Buffenbarger and Melissa Hayden.
Together, they have about half as many chips as Goodwin, so it's going to be tough for either of them, but it's always possible. 1 or 2 double ups, and they're right in there.
Mark Goodwin has position on the button, and that's why he's going to raise here with the 5-9 of spades.
Doesn't look like it's good timing for this position raise. They haven't been making too many positional raises here, but he decides to with the 9-5 of spades. I think unfortunately it's not going to be very good timing, as Gus Hansen picks up the ace king of hearts. Is almost certainly going to play back, or he could try to slow play and just call. I expect a raise here, though.
And that's quite a high heart rate for Gus.
He likes to work out a lot, too.
Clearly very excited to have picked up such a big hand. Maybe he genuinely doesn't know how to play something like ace-king. Maybe he's happier with hands like 7-5.
I think he'll take the ace-king.
Nice. 52.
Well, there's the raise.
Gus has made it 52,000.
Raised it up to 52,000. And of course, there is still Jeff Buffenbarger in the big blind to act, but he's quickly folded, so it's back on Mark Goodwin.
It's all right, though. That's all right. Take it down. And the answer. Big blind.
Does he have a decision here?
Maybe he's thinking about moving all in here and trying to get Gus off the hand, which normally wouldn't be a very good strategy. We've seen Gus make some astonishing calls, and he lays it down just as he should.
So the re-raise from Gus worked. He'll take that pot.
That's probably the best hand.
And he'll show it as well.
Gus shows ace king of hearts.
So in case you don't know what beats what, here is the ranking of hands. A high card is exactly what it says. It's the highest card out of 5. Up from that is a single pair, in this example, 2 jacks. Better than 1 pair, 2 pairs. For example, queens and 7s. 3 of a kind is up from that, and that's pretty much self-explanatory. Next up is a straight. Now this is 5 cards in a row of any suit. And then up from that is the flush. This is 5 cards of the same suit in any order. A full house is 3 of a kind plus a pair. 4 of a kind does exactly what it says on the tin. The granddaddy of them all, the straight flush. 5 in a row, all of the same suit. And of course, a roll flush is a straight flush that's ace high.
Okay.
So Mark Goodwin still chip leader with 217,000. He's in the big blind in this hand, so Gus Hansen will be first to speak. And again, the trademark acknowledgement as he looks at his cards. I guess he's just having fun.
Yep, I'm not sure what those noises mean.
It's important to enjoy yourself at the poker table, isn't it? He's raising it up with the pair of nines.
Raise 18 total.
And sitting on the button is Jeff Buffenbarger. And he's got an ace. Only a 5 kicker, but
Pass.
he decides to play it cautiously and will fold. Melissa Hayden, the Jack-10, will also folds. So just Mark Goodwin, and he will fold as well. And Gus is really annoyed. He wants people to pay him off here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the worst could have happened. He could have run into a higher pair, so.
Gus Hansen has overtaken Mark Goodwin to be the new chip leader at this final table. 214,500. Mark Goodwin, 200,500. And Melissa Hayden still short stacked. She hasn't picked up the blinds in a while. She needs to get busy. I guess it's tough when you're just not getting the cards.
Absolutely, yeah. And I heard a lot of people complaining that they weren't getting very good cards here.
Melissa moves all in.
Melissa's decided to move all in. She's making a stand.
33,000.
And Gus Hansen is sitting in the small blind.
It's the right play to make, but not very good timing as Gus Hansen picks up the pocket kings.
Oh, what a hand to have in the small blind, facing the all-in.
Now he's saying, do I call or do I move all in myself? He wants Jeff to call. He wants Jeff to overcall behind him. So he's wondering, how am I going to get that to happen? Am I going to get that by calling or by raising?
Mark Goodwin sitting this one out.
You got like 80 over there?
Yeah. Yeah, about 80. 62.
Gus Hansen getting a chip count from Jeff Buffenbarger.
Looks like he's probably going to move all in. No.
No, not for me anyways.
Gus scores 33,000.
Jeff quickly folds.
Wouldn't have mattered. Jeff wasn't playing no matter what.
So, ace-6 of Melissa Hayden. Pocket kings for Gus Hansen. She's behind in the hand. She's got fewer chips. Her tournament life is on the line. She's going to need to hit that ace, or she's going to go out in 4th position. 5 cards to come. Here's the flop.
3
of hearts, 10 of spades,
and 2.
and 2 of diamonds.
And that does give Melissa a chance. Any ace, any 4.
Melissa needs an ace or a 4.
The turn card is a 4. She's made the wheel.
She's made the straight.
And Gus is now drawn dead.
Gus cannot win the hand, and so Melissa Hayden will double up through Gus Hansen, who's appalled to see that he made 3 kings on the end.
Just to add insult to injury.
The straight will win it, and Melissa Hayden will double up through Gus Hansen. That means she's out of the danger zone now.
Melissa's got 70,000 in chips.
Up to 70,000, and Gus Hansen moves back to 2nd in the leaderboard as we see Mark Goodwin out in front with 200,000 in chips.
Oh, that's now.
You can't win them all, Gus.
I played with Gus on my left pretty much the whole first day, which kept me in check because probably me more than most, I'm capable of making silly moves and silly bets, which usually gets me knocked out of a tournament. So by having him on my direct left, anything I did was going to get played against anyway, so I had to make sure I knew what I was doing before I went in. I took out Chris Ferguson on a lucky hand, he was short stacked. I think it's about 11,000 chips. And he was under the gun. The blinds were 400, 800. And he makes a raise all in. And I looked down at the big blind at King Queen. And I felt that because the blinds are going into Chris, that move was possible. So I called, and he had ace 10, and I got lucky and hit the queen. So.
Blinds have gone up. 3,600.
And the blinds have gone up. We now have a running ante of 1,000 and blinds of 3,000 and 6,000. It's 13,000 around, Chris.
That's a pretty big increase. It was 8,000 around at the end of the last limit. So it just means you're going to have to play a couple more hands.
They're sharing it.
Mark Goodwin under the gun, and he folds with the 10 deuce. Gus Hansen on the button with ace 4, and four-handed on the button.
He's gonna raise this one here. The question is how much.
Looking at the stack sizes of Jeff Buffenbarger and Melissa Hayden. Gus is chip leader at the moment.
Takes a big handful and shoves them out there.
Not sure he counted that before it went over the line.
I'm not sure. I think he's counting it now.
Gus makes it 22,000. Jeff passes.
Jeff folds the 9-5, and Melissa Hayden follows behind very quickly with the 9-6.
Well played.
Another pot to Gus Hansen, increasing his chip lead at this final table. 67 players began this event. 8 players started at the final table. These are our final 4. Mark Goodwin will be first to speak.
Mark folds.
He folds the 5-8 offsuit. Gus looking around, acknowledging what his cards are. The information sinks into his brain. Information is processed. Scratches his ear for assistance and decides to fold.
Folds.
So blind on blind, Jeff Buffenbarger.
Raise.
And he's raising with 9-6 of hearts. And Melissa Hayden
17 total.
Jeff makes it 17,000.
in the big blind has a hand, ace-7 of spades.
That's a very good hand, especially heads up.
And this is her response, all in.
All in.
All in.
Re-raising Jeff Buffenbarger.
Oh, very good raise, protecting her
Melissa
better
raises
hand.
34,000.
No, 38,000 total.
What, 38,000 more?
More, yes.
Putting Jeff in a very tough spot.
Wow, man.
He's got quite a bit invested in the pot. And the pot size is big.
Well, at least you know I haven't got aces. Or kings, probably queens.
And even though he's a slight money
you
favorite,
can walk back.
it doesn't mean he's right to call here, because part of
What your
poker,
mathematical friend would say here.
part of tournament poker is
That's what I'm
survival.
thinking, you know, my mind's spinning.
It's not just about the maths.
Yeah, go on.
Well, he's made the call.
Wow, that's a surprising call.
Melissa shows ace-7.
Well, he's got 2 live cards. 9s and 6s are good for him.
And he has a live suit as
Jeff
well.
shows 6-9 of hearts.
Indeed. Hearts would give him the flush. It's the ace-7 of spades for Melissa Hayden that's out in front right now. But she's got fewer chips, so she's the one at risk,
Bad odds.
even though she's going to the showdown as favourite. 5 cards to come. First the flop.
Wow.
And there's a 9,
9.
8 of spades.
but an ace as well.
And the ace of hearts.
Wow.
9s, 6s, running hearts. It's a jack.
Gloves on the turn.
So just a 9 or a 6. Or Melissa doubles up through Jeff Buffenbarger. And a king. The pair of aces hold up.
Ace.
And Melissa doubles up.
And Jeff is down to only 22,000 here. It's a very short stack now. The average stack well over 100,000.
Yippee-yay, yippee-yay. Wow, wow, wow. Yo, yippee-yay.
So Melissa has now 114,000 in chips. Big difference between third place and fourth place.
If someone takes a bad beat, gives one, gets one, whatever, no problem, just on to the next hand. Playing with the people here are lovely. And the players here are really serious about the way they play poker. They play well, they're very thoughtful. And if they don't play particularly well, they're thinking about what they should do or want to do or what their opponents might have. I like that.
He has a pair of jacks. He's almost certainly going to raise. There he goes.
That's the raise.
22.
Makes it 22,000, and that's more than Jeff Buffenbarger has got. He moves all in for 21,000.
21.
21,000.
Quickly folded by Melissa Hayden and Mark Goodwin. So Jeff is all in for his last 21,000. Ace Queen against pocket jacks. That classic coin flip, Chris, the two overcards to the pocket pair.
It's not as much of a coin flip as people think. The pairs here, it's 53 against 47 favorite.
8.
Eight of hearts.
King.
King of spades.
King.
King of diamonds.
No luck to Jeff. He needs to hit an ace or a queen, all running diamonds.
Four of clubs.
Just an ace or a queen.
We're out of here.
The river card. It's a 7. We've lost our fourth place player. We say goodbye to Jeff Buffenbarger.
Just in two hands, he's out like that. He loses. He doubles up Melissa Hayden and now loses to Gus Hansen.
Fourth place nets him £10,720.
Okay, cool, thanks.
And we are down to 3.
For me, it's been very exciting. I've exceeded my expectations. It's my second year playing poker, so from that perspective, I've come on a long ways. I'm learning, and the opportunity to play against some of the best players in the world is just amazing. You know, it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
We do hope you're enjoying this exclusive show, and just a very quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing. It really, really helps us out. Right, let's get right back to it.
Gus Hansen is still the chip leader with 253,000, but everyone has got 6 figures worth of chips now. How does the game change when it's three-handed, Chris?
You need to play more and more hands as it gets more and more short-handed. These stacks are actually pretty close. Gus has maybe 246,000, Melissa around 110. About twice what Melissa, but no one is short-stacked here, so everyone's going to want to be a little bit cautious. But while you're being cautious, you still have to play a lot of hands because it is three-handed, and any ace is actually a favorite over your two opponents.
Okay, we've got an unraised pot here. Mark Goodwin just called the small blind before the flop, and now he's betting out with a straight draw, but Gus Hansen does have second pair. He's got queens here. How does he respond to Mark Goodwin's bet? He's just going to call.
Queen.
And he'll be happy with that on the turn. He's made trips.
Mark checks.
Check.
Gus checks a very interesting check.
6 diamonds.
Mark has missed. The only way he can win is by betting. but I guarantee you he's going to get called.
You notice that check by Gus Hansen on the turn induced this bluff by Mark on the river.
20, I think.
He was, it's true, he was giving him 4 cards to make the straight and lose a big pot to him. But if checking it gets him to bluff with no hand at all, it was absolutely the right thing to do.
Mark bets 20,000.
Gus is certainly going to call it, and I don't think he's going to. He's thinking about raising actually, and I don't think he's going to raise on this hand.
Why would he not raise? Would he be concerned that he's already made the straight?
Well, it is some concern that Mark started with a straight, but there's also concern that he has a higher queen. Gus doesn't have a good kicker with his queen. If he had a good kicker, you'd probably raise.
Gus raises.
Gus does raise.
He's nothing if unpredictable.
And Mark's just going to take a little bit of time here before he lays his hand down. No, he doesn't want Gus to know he was on a complete bluff there.
40,000. Better.
Now that's a bluff. Reaching for chips here.
We know you're going to throw him away.
It was 60,000 total. Okay.
One last look. It's always a sure sign that someone's going to fold when they look back at their hand. And there they go across the line. So Gus takes it down, and he did have the hand. He had 3 queens. Extending his chip lead, he's now got 287,000. More than double Mark Goodwin.
I'm the local lad. I think it's some inch.
I should let you have a discount.
Did wrong.
He looks after you, though.
You see now we just played that Ice King. I deserve a discount.
Here's a man who certainly likes to gamble. Gus Hansen on the button with 9-10. He's thinking about raising. Is this a legitimate hand to play 3-handed?
Absolutely it is. You know, it's not suited, but it is connected, and they're both reasonably high cards.
Well, Melissa Hayden is in the small blind, and she's got ace-king.
Unfortunately for Gus, Melissa wakes up with an ace-king here. Now we'll see how she's going to play this. There, she moves all in.
Re-raise all in.
And 10-9 is not a hand that even Gus is going to play in this situation.
You say that, but
he's fooled me before. But this one I'm
22?
pretty sure. This one I don't think is even close.
So my 3 is in there. 79.
if he puts Melissa on ace-king and figures that he's got 2 live cards...
I still don't think that's the problem is he's still not getting the right odds, I don't think.
He's going to think about it.
I guess there's 53 out there, and he's got to call another 80.
It really is a struggle for this man to lay down a hand, isn't it?
It is. Once he puts some chips in the pot, it is a struggle. He's getting very close to the right odds.
Jesus. Not that he has anything to do with it. Not that he has anything to do with it. Really gonna do that? That's pretty sick.
Oh, he's seriously thinking of calling here. I don't think he is. But he's not stalling for time. So a lot of players in these situations will actually stall it's actually sending a subliminal message to your opponent not to mess around with you, because for some people, you know, when they're looking at someone possibly calling a raise, it's actually kind of a painful situation to be in. So if you prolong that agony a little bit, you can actually get them to lay down more hands to you, and that's a theory that a lot of people like to use. Gus is actually thinking of calling, and he does call with it.
The chips are across the line. He's called the all-in. What did I tell you?
Wow. Yep, he is unpredictable.
He has got 2 live cards. That means he's not that far behind. What is it about?
I think he's actually getting barely the right odds to call here.
Yeah. Roughly 60-40, is it?
Yep.
Well, Melissa's standing up. She knows she's the one at risk, but Gus is the one who needs to hit, and that's what he does. There's the 10 on the flop. So now Melissa needs to hit. She's looking for an ace or a king on the turn. It's a 3, just an ace or a king, 12% chance. And on the river, she draws a 4. The 10s hold up. Gus Hansen wins the hand. And Melissa Hayden goes out in 3rd place, winning 13,400, and we are heads up. And several hands ago, Chris, we predicted we'd be in this situation. Mark Goodwin against Gus Hansen.
Yeah, a long time ago, when they were both the 2 monster tip leaders, when they're the 2 players over 100,000, I think we predicted this, but that doesn't mean it was going to happen. It happened. Now, Melissa, she played a great game. She played a waiting game, was able to survive all the other short stacks into 3rd place. Not only that, she got all her money in with the best of it, with the ace-king against Gus Hansen's 10-9. Unfortunately, she got very unlucky. Otherwise, she would have been a co-chip leader with Gus at the end of that hand.
Well, it was a wonderful tournament. I was really fortunate to come in 3rd. I went out in a bad way if you take that one hand specifically, but I drew out on him, then he draws out on me. That's just kind of the way it goes. But it was very warm. That was the only problem. But other than that, we were treated wonderfully. The tournament directors were great. Everybody was terrific. It was a really, really nice tournament.
We're down to 2 players now. Mark Goodwin has got 144,000 in chips, and our chip leader, Gus Hansen, has 392,000 in chips.
Way.
Shuffle up and Dale.
And the title they are playing for is Champion of the London All-Star Challenge, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. And they've already seen off some of the biggest names of the game: Howard Lederer, Eric Seidel, Alan Cunningham, the Hendon Mob, Jennifer Harmon, and the man who's sitting alongside me, Chris Ferguson, one member of Team Full Tilt, against Mark Goodwin. Although, strictly speaking, they're both European. I know the idea was that you Americans wanted to challenge us Europeans, but...
Well, let's think about it as Full Tilt versus the rest of the world, shall we?
Yeah, okay. He lives in Las Vegas. He's practically American these days.
Yep, we're trying to get a European presence, and I think we're doing that. Gus is the guy to do it with, I'm telling you, and he's proven himself here.
So heads-up play. It's an unraised pot. And Mark Goodwin has flopped a pair of 9s. No diamonds for anyone.
Pair of 9s is a pretty risky hand with the 3 diamonds out there. He bets it. Gus ain't gonna mess around with this hand. That's for sure.
Did I have a diamond? No, I didn't. I thought I did.
Mark Goodwin takes it down, but Gus Hansen does have the chip lead at the moment. 385,000 plays, 151,000.
Very strong chip lead, over 2-1.
Pretty strong hand on the button for Gus Hansen. King 9. Heads up, any king?
I would play any king here. He's almost certainly going to raise, and I don't like calling from the button very much. I like putting in at least a small raise.
Yeah, put the pressure on your opponent.
I mean, what's the point? You have position throughout the hand, and if you call, he can raise you anyway. So
every time you've done that, you've had ice queen.
Gus makes it 110,000.
He moves all in.
Mark calls.
Well, certainly enough to put Mark Goodwin all in, and he calls the all in with a 6 of diamonds.
Oh, I wish.
Oh.
King.
And Gus is not that far behind.
Yeah,
We've been in this situation before.
Yeah, he sure has.
He's got king of clubs, 9 of diamonds. It's an all-in.
So Mark Goodwin is favourite going to the flop, but he needs to win this or it's all over.
That's 5 clubs. Three of spades.
7.
No help for either player. The ace high still good.
Slowly put a 4 there. Slowly.
For an ace.
An ace.
Good enough.
That's
Yep.
good enough.
Ace on
Drawn
the turn,
dead.
Mark's doubled
The
up.
hand is sewn
see the
up.
last
Mark
one.
Goodwin is going to double up through Gus Hansen.
8.
It's an 8.
The quality of poker has been very good, but I mean, when you're playing against top players, you tend to have to up your game. I mean, when we were all out playing golf the other day, we were talking about it, you know, and we all agree that we've got an A to an F game in all of us, you know, and you really do have to have your A game to get all the way. I mean, you don't usually win a tournament with anything less than your A game, but, you know, I've played plenty of tournaments when I've had an F game, but I mean, you learn from them and hopefully you improve.
It's 2, sorry, 3,000.
Gus is under the gun here.
4.
And he's going to call with 4-5 of diamonds. Mark Goodwin immediately raises with ace-8.
23,000.
Is Gus going to call the raise?
It's a good raise. He might call. He's suited and connected. I don't think you'd call if you weren't both.
The kind of hand Gus likes to play. The kind of hand you want to see a flop with, Chris.
Yeah, it is. You can win. You can
A raise
sometimes
of
win a big pot
23,000.
with the small suited connectors. I'm not a huge fan, but a lot of people like to play them.
Gus called.
And there
There's
he goes.
the call. Okay, to the flop we go.
Yeah. 5.
And there's a 5 for Gus.
5.
There's 2 5s for Gus.
8.
And there's the 8 for Mark Goodwin. This could
Oh,
be...
that's a tough flop. That's going to be a tough flop for Mark.
Check.
Oh, and they both check. They're both trying to trap.
But might give a little hope. Oh.
8.
Oh.
Check.
Now there's a miracle card. There's a miracle card for Mark, and he's going to slow play it again.
Mark Goodwin has suddenly moved massively in front. The full house. 8s full of 5s. Gus Hansen with 5s full of 8s.
I think this slow playing might save Gus in the end. We'll see.
I've got a feeling we're going to see all the money go in the middle of the table, Chris.
I think you're right.
Gus is thinking, what can I bet and get action with?
Exactly. And what kind of hands can he beat? What kind of hands can he get action with? And I think he'll get action with an ace, is what he's thinking.
They're both getting excited. They know this is a big hand.
He almost bet there. I think he sensed something and decided not to. He may just check here.
Gus check.
There you go.
And he does check.
Fantastically well played. He's thinking, what can he beat?
4.
That 4 didn't really do him any good. He has a full house on his own there. That 4 didn't do him any good.
At 40,000.
Mark Goodwin with the bigger full house is going to bet.
He's thinking, what is Mark betting here? What, now if Gus raises, what's Mark going to call with that that he can beat? And the answer is nothing. So I think he's just going to call here.
He'll be very lucky to lose that little if that's all he does.
Exactly.
You can see his heart rate's gone up. He's feeling the pressure of this hand. He knows that whatever he chooses to do on this hand could be instrumental in deciding the result of this tournament.
Oh. Wow, he puts in a small raise. Interesting. Mark has to love that one.
The bet is now 100,000.
The only hand he loses to is 2 5s.
Mark Goodwin's going to see what he's got. He's likely to push all in here, Chris.
He's almost certainly going to.
I'm all in.
All in.
Mark's gone all in.
Mark declares all in. Decision back on Gus. He's got so much invested. Surely he can't pass.
Yeah, well, you can on the river. You can pass because there are no more pot odds. He's beaten. He's beaten. He's definitely regretting that raise he put in there on the
88,000.
with his small full house.
There is 336,000 in this pot. It's another 76,000 for Gus to call. Very rare to see a full house in heads-up hold'em, as you said earlier, Chris, and even rarer for both players to be holding full houses.
Yeah, he lays it down.
And Gus,
that's a good lay down.
Will fold on the end, and Mark Goodwin will just show him the ace.
I don't think that's convincing Gus that he was betting with ace high there.
You can't beat an ace. You'd have
Okay,
called.
tournament players, the blinds are now 4,000, 8,000, running out to the 1,000.
If you beat ace.
What?
If you beat ace, it was a good pass.
Not a full house.
You had a 5.
Wow.
And you had an 8.
What a pass. Passed a 5?
Not a 5.
We're at 50 London for the London All-Star Challenge, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. There's been a change in the chip lead at our final table. Mark Goodwin now has the better of Gus Hansen, and the blinds are going up.
Wow.
4,000, 8,000. The running ante still 1,000.
Deal, yeah?
And there we see it. Mark Goodwin has 357,000 to Gus Hansen 179,000.
4,000 to call.
And Gus is on the button here. King 9.
Raise to 24,000.
He's going to raise it.
Gus makes it 24,000.
16 to call. All right. The raise.
Mark Goodwin's done this before.
Exactly. He has just about the same hand he had last time. Now, if Gus was thinking about calling with the Queen 8, you got to imagine he will with the King 9.
Called it and raised it to 80,000.
Mark raises it a further 80,000.
Okay.
If he was thinking about calling with Queen 8, he's almost certainly going to call with King 9. He's only a 60-40 underdog. He might lay it down, though.
2 in a row. All right, I'm not gonna let it happen for too
Gus
long.
has moved all in.
All in.
Cool.
Cool.
All in from Gus Hansen, called by Mark Goodwin, and Gus Hansen is behind.
Ace 3 of
And he's at risk because Mark Goodwin
Gus has got
has him
King of
covered.
spades, 9 of clubs.
Gus Hansen, 60-40 underdog. He's going to need to hit here or he is gone, and we have our winner.
King 8 also.
He needs to hit a king or a 9.
$200,000 pot.
Ace 3 out in front. 5 cards to come. First, we're going to get the flop.
Okay. 7. 8. 5.
No help. Ace high still good.
7 of hearts, 8 of clubs.
Gus looking for a king or a 9.
Or a 6 to make a straight here.
He's got the straight draw, you're right, the inside straight draw. There's the king.
It's the king. Wow. It's the king. That's a huge king.
So now just an ace for Mark Goodwin. But it's a 7, so kings and 7s. We'll see Gus Hansen once again win with the worst hand and double up through Mark Goodwin.
Wow, fantastic hand for Gus there.
And Mark Goodwin looking a bit gutted because he knows he's just given Gus almost a 4-1 chip lead over him.
Yep, he played fantastic with both those hands. He just got very unlucky on the second one.
That's what a lot of players say when they're up against Gus Hansen. You included, Chris.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while, haven't I?
Hey, I have a chance now.
These two guys, in their spare time, like to play golf. For money, obviously, Chris.
Oh, they like to play for a lot of money, I'm sure.
Oh, look at this. Mark Goodwin trying to lay a trap with a pair of queens, just calling on the button. And then Gus puts the pressure on with the ace-5.
Bumba bumba.
We have a call.
You two? You bazookaed up, bumba bumba'd. Oh, that's bad.
We've got a quick call.
It's a raise of
2 queens.
125.
Yeah, Gus raised enough to put Mark Goodwin all in. He quickly called with those queens. He laid the trap perfectly here. But Gus does have an ace, Chris.
He does have an ace.
Do it anyway.
He's come back from further, I like to say, but gotta like Goodwin's hand here.
23.
The pocket queen's our favourite going into the flop. Gus Hansen looking for an ace. But Mark Goodwin in pretty good shape to double up here.
Still only a 70-30 favorite, not unheard of.
5. 4.
Oh, now here's some possibilities.
That's exciting.
Gus Hansen.
Say that.
Not a bad flop for Gus. He hit one pair, he's got to hit another pair, or trips here or a straight.
Yeah, 3 to make the straight.
No.
5 for trips.
Ace.
And there's the
ace.
ace. 2 pairs, aces and 5s.
Otherwise, we're going to have our first winner.
So Mark Goodwin needs to hit a queen on the river.
Or a 3 for a tie.
It's a 10 though,
10.
and that means it's over. Gus Hansen has just knocked out Mark Goodwin once again with the worst hand. Gus Hansen wins the pot. We say goodbye to Mark Goodwin in second place, and we say many congratulations to Gus Hansen because we have our champion.
I wasn't intimidated, heads up. Played my way back into the game, thought I played great. He just got lucky on me at the last 2 hands at the end of the night. But I mean, that's, you know, I play poker for a living and you just have to live with that. It happens to you every other week, if not every week sometimes.
It was a tough field, a lot of strong American full tilt players. Phil Ivey, Chris Ferguson, John Juan, Mike Mattisall. I mean, tremendous tournament results. So, and some very strong European players. So, I mean, basically any tournament you play, you're happy to come out on top. So, turned out pretty good for me.
Congratulations, Gus, on your win.
Thanks a
Our
lot.
first European Masters. And we hope to see you more often.
Well, I'll definitely be back. Plus the tournament.
Gus is the winner. Congratulations to the winner of the first event in the European Poker Masters. Commiserations to Mark Goodwin. And from 50 London, it's goodbye.
Enjoyed watching that exclusive show, a brilliant piece of poker history. And if you do want to see more, make sure you're subscribed because we have a lot more coming. Thanks for watching and we'll see you again next time.